Good morning, good morning, good morning. I guess it's lights, camera, action, and a bit of a wonky light going on there, but hey ho, it's the way it goes. So welcome to this week's Monday Motivation. If you're in need of a little bit of motivation this Monday, this morning, or even this week, you have come to the right place. So welcome. Now, Monday Motivations was started with a very specific reason in mind, and whether it's you or whether it's somebody that you know on your timeline, it could well be that somebody that you didn't even think about has got up this morning, is dreading their Monday, is dreading their morning. Now, whether they're into personal development, whether they're into just having a different life for themselves, whether they're looking for better things in their life, it's likely that they could need a little bit of a cheering up, a little bit of a boost to their day. So if you know somebody like that, or even if you think you don't know somebody like that, then do me a favour, click on the share button, share it to your timeline. You never know who of your Facebook friends, families or connections could do with a little boost. So already I can see you all watching, and Alan's hot off the blocks. He says, good morning, Jenny. So I'm saying good morning, Alan, and waving wildly. Lisa's also on and she's saying good morning all. She's got a little sunshine emoji there. I love that. So this week you may be wondering what the theme is for this week's Monday Motivation. And this week it's all about kind of like, let's call it a reboot, a restart, a re-kick. So for so many people, they went out of 2018, out of December 2018 and into out of December 2017 and into January 2018, all revved up, ready to go. Now that's been sort of about 10 weeks, about 10 weeks from there. And for people, a couple of people that I've been speaking to recently, a couple of the companies that I've been speaking to, they've had this energy about them of, oh my gosh, kind of got to catch up with what I had planned at the beginning of the year. Up says Ian, good morning Ian, and he's saying good morning to everybody else. You lot are a friendly bunch. I'm wondering where some of the other vibers are that normally watch this. I know there's a couple that won't be able to watch today, but where's our makeup artist? Where's our get the body fit and ready? Where are they? I know they're not asleep, that's for sure. Anyway, I digress. So I've been speaking to companies, so to corporations, and you can imagine they've got their goals and their plans, and for some of them, they're actually getting ready to rev up in April. So I thought I would talk about this subject now, because it's kind of in the air. People are feeling it. So whether you have started your January with a feeling of, oh, you know what, it's nearly the end of March and I still haven't quite done what I intended to do, what I had planned to do, what I'd thought about doing, let yourself off the hook. It's okay. And if you are in the stage of, well, the next financial year starts in April, so I'm getting ready to rev up now, again, let yourself off the hook, and you've got plenty of time. Start now while it's in your mind and your head. Hey, it's Miss Julia Bernard Thompson. She says, good morning, Jenny, good morning all. And I can almost tell by the way that she's typed that she's like, come on, let's go for it. So here are a couple of things that you can do to kickstart yourself, to motivate yourself. And I want to add a caveat to this, because I know that I'm a life coach. I know that I'm an exec coach. I know that I go out and speak. Sometimes it's motivational and sometimes it's informational. But there's one thing that motivates us more than anything else in the world, and that's our ability to feel that desire, that motivation within ourselves. So although I come and share these with you every Monday, this is not me saying, go on, boot camp style, you can do it. I'm not forcing you, pulling you, pushing you. I would love you to find the motivation within yourself. So let me take a moment. Does that even make sense? But let me take a moment. If it makes sense, give me a thumbs up or a love heart. I just want to make sure that I'm not kind of going completely stir crazy here. But let me take a moment to ask you this question. And there'll be something that comes straight to the top or front of your mind. And you might even try to dismiss it or think, oh no, not that. Something more, something ambitious. Thank you for the love hearts, by the way. So think of something, and it could be something that you intended to start in January or at the beginning of the year, or it could be something that you just feel ready is time to start it now, begin it now, plan it now. Now, that thing, you don't even need to share it in here. In fact, if you want a more private and more personal conversation, the best place to share it is if you go to the top of this page, click on the box, it says the Visibility Vibes Tribe, or join the group. In that group, you can post whatever you want without fear of your Facebook friends who don't get this side of your life, this part of your life. You can post whatever you want, your dreams, your plans, your hopes, your ambitions, your intentions, your goals, your, oh my gosh, I want to do this, but. Because one of the things that I've noticed about the Visibility Vibes Tribe, you are the juiciest, loveliest people in the planet. And if you're not part of that group yet, you're really missing out, really are missing out. So think of the thing that you want to kickstart, get started, rev up again, maybe refocus back onto or into. You know, for many of us, we're looking at ramping up. For some of us, we're looking at ramping down or damping down. Some of us are, you know, we'd gone into the year strong with a very firm plan to do something. And as we've walked along that path, we've realised that actually we just need to, almost like a satellite navigation system, like a sat-nav, just need to course correct slightly. So here's the first thing that I want you to do, and the first point that I want to, sorry, there's a notification on my screen already. Here's the first point that I want to share with you. And point number one is, wherever you are in this motivational space, if you're wondering what that is, it's just a little something that I'm doing on my wall. I'm planning something out and it's flapping in the breeze. Here's the thing. What do you, and let me put this a better way. Let me put this a better way for the first point, if you like. If you're a pen and paper type of person and you're writing these down, or maybe you're coming back to it, here's the first point for you to make. Like, what do you need to let yourself off the hook for? Okay, because when we are motivating ourselves, and a lot of my audience here are people that are self-starters. They're either working in a corporate setting, quite high flyer, known as a high performer, and there'll be things that, although they're going really well, they're beating themselves up. Or, you know, my entrepreneurial crowd, we're our own bosses. You know, it's the buck stops with us. It's up to us what we do. Yet we constantly drive ourselves forward and beat ourselves up. We strive for a goal, we get the goal, and then we're on to the next thing. So what do you need to let yourself off the hook for? What do you need to let yourself off the hook for? Now, if you're watching this live or on the replay, more than welcome to share on the box. But as I say, the best place in the planet, the most supportive place on the Facebook planet, I think, is in the Visibility Vibes Tribe, because there's no competition. There's no your thing's rubbish, my thing's bigger and better. It's a really collaborative feel. It's like you've landed on a nice soft feather. So that's the first thing. Where do you need to let yourself off the hook? Okay. Does that make sense? Are you with me still? Give me a thumbs up or a love heart, just to make sure. I just want to make sure. So if that's you and you've now gone, oh my gosh, yeah, of course, I was doing this thing and then I didn't finish it, so I need to let myself off the hook there. Or, you know what, I started off in the year and I was like, I don't need a plan, I'm just going to go with the flow and see what happens. Maybe you need to let yourself off there. Maybe you went in with a very firm plan. Hey, hi Katrina, morning. Maybe you went in with a very, very firm plan and you didn't quite do what you needed to do. Either way, let yourself off the hook. Okay, so the next step is now you've looked at what it is to let yourself off the hook. Ask yourself this question, and this is a really great searching question. Again, this is not a question that's made to beat yourself up. This is a question that's designed to help you get to the heart of the matter, help you to take the responsibility, i.e. your ability to respond to what's happening right now. Not what happened in January, not what happened last year, not what happened 10 years ago, which left a bad taste in your mouth, but what's happening now. And that question is about your ability to respond, your responsibility. That is for the thing that you're looking to grow or get rid of or review. what got me here? What got me here? So ask yourself that question. So, you know, one thing I hear all the time, if not even from my own mouth, from people that I work with, you know, from the clients that I do the individual mentoring or coaching with, sometimes even from the, you know, from the very senior exec levels, that are, they're leading a team, they're leading a division, they're leading a department, they're leading a company. And they'll say, oh my gosh, can't believe that I didn't do this. Or they'll say, oh my gosh, you know, sometimes something a bit stronger than, oh my gosh. Morning, Faye. They'll say something stronger than, oh my gosh. But they'll just be like, you know what? Why on earth didn't I do this thing sooner? Why on earth didn't I try this? Now, if you've let yourself off the hook, there's no more of that. But if you now ask yourself, how did I get here? Notice when you say that, how did I get here? How measured that posture feels. And if you're kind of sat at your desk slumping, or, you know, elbows on the table and chin in palm, stand up when you ask yourself this question, and ask yourself this question from an empowered place. How did I get here? How did we get here? So, of course, the reason that this is the responsibility question is, if you ask yourself, how did we all get here? How did the company get here? It's really difficult to take responsibility for the parts that other people play. But if you ask yourself, how did I get here? Hey, good morning, Tracy. Good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're well. When you ask yourself, how did I get here? You have now asked yourself a question from quite an empowered place, from a place where you can now do something about it. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is work out where you need to let yourself off the hook. And what I strongly recommend for this exercise is, like, save this video, come back to it and scribble it down, write it down. It will be labelled up properly. It's season 2 and we're on video, I think it's 16 or something like that. So write down, like, where do you need to let yourself off the hook, especially if you've got a lot of things buzzing around your head. Maybe you were supposed to be putting out something every day and you didn't quite get round to doing it. Maybe you wanted to go to that particular event and then you know, maybe you didn't make a sale, or maybe you forgot to put it in your diary so you missed it. Maybe there was something, a message that you wanted to share with your audience. Maybe there was something that you wanted to share at a meeting and you didn't quite do it. Maybe you backed down, you changed your mind, you needed more time. Let it all go. Let yourself off the hook. I'm not even going to sing that Disney song, but you know the one I mean. Let it all go. Let it off the hook. Next is to ask yourself, and this is a responsibility question, not a question to beat yourself up with, but a responsibility question. Next off, ask yourself about your ability to respond and how did I get here? And again, pen and paper, no essays, but bullet points. You know, how did I get here? Short, sharp. Okay, so I went out and did this thing and I didn't do this other thing. I decided to, you know, I got here with this Facebook Live with something flapping in the side because I decided not to take this off the wall, which is part of my planning for some of my corporate clients. You know, how did I get here? I got home late, but I decided as soon as I got in, I was going to get straight into bed, and I had a really great night's sleep so that I still got up nice and early, and so that I was still motivated and energized. So when you're looking at the how did I get here, do think of the things that maybe brought you some disappointment or you wish you'd done differently, but also think of the things that you did really, really well, really, really well. And then the third question to ask yourself is, okay, so now you've identified what you've needed to let go, how you've got to that particular place and space in time. Now, what am I going to do about this? Not what are they going to do about this, or what is he going to do about this, or what is she going to do about this. Now, what am I going to do about this? Now, depending on where you are in this exercise, and depending on how much you have let go and how much you are sort of focused and motivated to move forward, depends on the level of answer that you get. But either way, even if you've got a head full of ideas and a head full of worries and troubles, this question will still steer you, or like recalibrate your sat-nav system, or get your finger back onto the line on the map that you originally wanted to take. It will recalibrate you. It'll get you back on there. So if you're now asking yourself the question, so what am I going to do about this? And you've got an inkling, maybe a semi-inkling or a bit of an inkling, then there are a couple more questions to ask. Now, every year, the lovely Rosetta Thurman, her brand is Happy Black Woman. And she's got a page here on Facebook, far bigger than mine, 500,000 followers on there. Most amazing, most inspirational person that I know. Well, one of the most, I should say, because there's a few people I know that are really inspiring. And every year she releases a download where she gets you to do a year in review and a year of preview. And this is quite interesting to me because in my time when I worked in financial services, both as a manager and even when I just got started in the early days, we would always have an annual review or an annual appraisal. And it's so ironic that these days I'm teaching managers and helping managers in their communication to do this in a corporate setting. But there's not many people out there teaching you how to be on the receiving end of an appraisal. But you know that bit where you get your questions and you need to answer them, then you sit with your manager and you have the discussion and all of that. For those of you that have worked in a corporate setting, well, this is kind of like doing this for your business. Now, Rosetta introduced me to this, I think it's 3 years ago now, and every year for the at the end of a year, because I actually start my planning in September, believe it or not. But at the end of the year, come November, come December, I would then have a look at these questions, ask myself these questions, and then review. So do a review of the last year and then a preview of the next year. And interestingly, Rosetta came over to the UK last July. I went along to one of her events. And I was saying to her, it was such a powerful exercise, but for me, so powerful because I actually structure my own business in quarters. I found it a really useful exercise to actually look at this in quarters. So there were some of you that joined in the Plan 2018, and we started that in January, or actually started it in December for, January, February, March. And now we're nearly halfway through March. It'll be a really great time for those of you that still got access to those recordings to go back and listen to those recordings and rinse and repeat all over again for April, May and June. Get ready in advance for quarter two. So within that, there are techniques where you can ask yourself specific questions about the year gone by and the year in advance. However, because we're now looking quarter by quarter basis, there are some of those questions you don't even need to go through like the whole piece. And by the way, the whole piece was a mixture of reflective questions, looking at where you are now, what you needed to get rid of and what you needed to move forward. Rosetta Thurman, on the other hand, has got this really great year in review and year in preview. So if you want what Rosetta's got, then go over and to happyblackwoman.com and you'll hopefully be able to find it on there if it's still on the website. But if you want to have a look at structuring your year, but rather than taking it in one great big year-sized chunk and starting to do that quarter by quarter, then hit the message button up here and I'll gladly send you the information of how you can get involved in the Plan 2018, which is like £81 for a whole quarter. That's cool, isn't it? So if that's something that you want to do, there are some questions behind it to ask. Have a look at how your quarter has just gone. Be really mindful of where you're heading to. Like, what is it that you're actually heading to, so that you can recalibrate, that sat nav, re-navigate the path to where you want to go to. Have a look maybe at where you... Oh, Tracy says, I also do this quarterly. I will also check out Happy Black Woman too. She's immense. Yeah, she's really immense. Have a look at like what kind of, what kind of challenges you've had. Maybe have a look at what you would do differently next time. That's a question that I share, with most people that I'm coaching with, because it's been such a valuable question for myself. So you do something, you do a really great job of it, and then you go swinging on to the next thing. Well, hold on a second. What would you do differently next time? This is just as valid a question to ask when you've done something really, really well as when you've done something that appears to have flopped or not gone in the way that you wanted it to. So once you've asked yourself those questions and gone deeper, you will notice that you have got a definite spring in your step. You'll notice that your, that your intent, your desire, your goal, your plan, your dream, your wish, whatever it is, starts to almost like crystallise. And you start to become your own catalyst. You then become more, kind of more motivated, more excited. And I would say the best gift of doing this kind of exercise is the clarity that you get in order to move forward. So we've got a couple of people that use a similar technique. So Tracy said that she uses that quarterly too. Katrina's saying it's so good. She does this in project management with lessons learned. Yes, absolutely. And I remember back in my financial services days, what the gold is behind what Katrina is saying on there is that when you're running a project, of course, it's not just about you and what you do next. There's a team of people. It's almost like it's like pieces on a chessboard. You need to move them all around, so it's like multiple motivation, if that makes sense. So absolutely. Julia's saying, yes, I find quarterly reviews more beneficial to me than annual reviews because I can course correct quicker. Absolutely. And, I can already tell. So for so many of you that are watching this, here's a little bit of a bigger stretch, because for some of you, this will be a new concept to you, and that's fine. Others, you'll be like, no, like Katrina, like Julia, like Tracy. Yeah, I've been doing this, and this is how I work it, and this is how it works. So if you already do something like this and it works for you, because if it doesn't work for you, don't keep doing it, quite frankly. But if it does work for you, and you want a stretch, because insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results, then if you would like to have a stretch on how you can do this. If you're in a mastermind, or if you've got a buddy or somebody that you talk specifically about your goals and desires to, why not do something where you do a weekly or a monthly review with them? So I've got a couple of people that I do this with. I've got a really great friend in business, and we probably speak on a daily basis, but we don't do this formally. That might be something, if you've got a friend that you speak to like that on a daily basis, that might be something you do with them. I've also got a couple of mastermind buddies, so somebody that I speak to every single week, and even when we both travel, we still connect. So I remember being in Barbados and saying, no, I'm clearing my diary, but I'm definitely going to keep this appointment. We do something on a weekly basis where we're able to reflect and review. And then I've got another friend who is based in the States, actually, and we review once a month. We've got a certain Friday of every month that we sit and we review, but we do like quite a quick, what have we done? What did we say what we were going to do? What have we done? What are we planning? And what do we commit to next time? So any form of review like that takes you to like more of a stretch of yourself. And the stretch could be described as sitting outside the comfort zone or anything else like that. But if we want to do things differently, achieve things differently, then this is absolutely fundamental. So I would love to hear some of your stretches, some of the things that you're doing over in the Visibility Vibes tribe. So click on the button at the top if you haven't already. Already stretched or thought about this. If you want inspiration from other people, if you want to give inspiration to other people, I would love to see you over there in the group. And if you're watching this on the replay, please play along, please type in the box below. But more than anything, have an absolutely spectacular Monday. Lots of love to you. And thank you for joining. And Dale, I've just seen your comment about your 2 accountability buddies for business. Absolutely. Don't try and do this alone, folks. The reason why so many of us get so demotivated is because we try and do everything ourselves, try and do everything alone. And it just won't cut the mustard. When you are on a mission, and I know that if you're watching this, your mission is actually to help make the world a different place, a better place, or anything else like that. And it's very seldom about your own life. It's like a purpose, it's a drive. So thank you so much for watching. Do share and let us know in the Vibes Tribe what you're motivated to do, how you motivate yourself, how you motivate others, or anything else in between. Lots of love to you. Thank you for coming. Thanks for the comments. And remember to share this with one other person at least that might need to hear this. Lots of love to you. Bye for now.